So, having played Grid for about a week now, I thought it'd be a pretty damn good time to actually give a final opinion on it. I kind of did give an opinion on it in the last video, but who cares, I'm doing another video anyway, because I needed an excuse to record more footage, because having V8 supercars in the game isn't something that's often. So, same goes for TCR cars, actually, and old school touring cars. So here we are, it's more Grid 2019. And I'm just going to say right off the bat that after like 2 hours of gameplay, you really have experienced everything that there is to offer. It's kind of weird, because Codemasters was once known for pretty high budget games, and that shows in the Formula 1 games. But it doesn't show here. It really doesn't show here. This game does feel like it was on a very tight budget at best, because a lot of things just feel like, again, repetitious events, and you know, car sounds that just sound like they're just repeating the same gear over and over again. Now, you see, that's an ingenious move, having infinite rewinds, because I remember Grid Autosport used to penalise you for having infinite rewinds in terms of career bonuses you get from cash. So thank God they've removed that. That's one good thing I'm going to say right now. But yeah, so everything's very repetitious. In comparison to Grid Autosport, there's like a quarter of the tracks, which is really shit. I guess the track DLC is going to be free, so hopefully they bring out, you know, like 20 tracks or something. That's asking for a lot, but I don't know how the how malleable the engine is in terms of ease of development and all that. So it could be likely, but I'm doubting it, because isn't it the Ego engine this game's running on? And the low budget is kind of extends to the visuals on the lower end consoles to various degrees. Because for one thing, this, as I said before, it still does look pretty rough on a base Xbox One, and I'm pretty sure it wouldn't look that much better on a PS4. That being said, there has been some multi-plat games that have looked quite notably better on PS4 than on Xbox One. Can't think of any examples right now, but they're definitely there. And the car selection is missing so many different vehicles. Like, again, 370Z in the GT4 class. I mean, there isn't actually a 370Z, is there? I think there was. But anyway, like there's like in terms of the GT4 touring cars and stuff like that, you know, like the Mustang and the Camaro, there's just so many vehicles they're missing from that, and they've added older vehicles and they've reused vehicles from older games. And I mean, I shouldn't be surprised given that Dirt Rally 2.0 is literally reselling older content as DLC, as paid DLC. Looking at you, Dirt Rally 2.0, with Monte Carlo in Dirt Rally 2.0 as a paid DLC when it was in the first game as part of the normal game. So I don't get that. And the AI in this game, I mean, it's weird. Like, you know, the Nemesis-y, that's not even a word. You know, the Nemesis system doesn't really work. They're not that dynamic. And on hard difficulty, which, believe it or not, this is on hard difficulty, they are not that hard. Unless you're on that Japanese track that's really slidey. These supercars just cannot handle that track. I tried the Falcon, and I tried the Opel Insignia ZB Commodore, as we call it down here. We call it the ZB Commodore, because Holden Commodore since the 80s, you know. Familiar brand name. Yeah. It's not good. They're literally undrivable. And the handling settings for these cars, the default handling setting, doesn't suit the supercars that well, but everything else is actually quite good. So turning it up actually makes it quite playable, but then makes everything else a bit weird. So that's just a really strange middle ground I gotta try hit there. It's kind of been a thing with Codemasters games lately, though. I've had to adjust the controls to my liking, except for the F1 games, because for some reason they just nail those. But I guess when you more or less have to do just incremental things on each year on year, I guess you know, you can keep a consistent record. But here's more footage, because we're not doing just supercars today. We are driving classic touring cars, including Alfa Romeos. I would love an Alfa Romeo in real life, but parts are hard to get down here, and apparently they're really unreliable. So, yeah, nah, probably not. Nonetheless, kind of be a dream for me if I could afford it. There are some cheap Alphas out there, but in terms of servicing, they're anything but, from what I know and from what a friend's told me. So yeah, I mean, weird track selections, weirder car choices, including like, where's the Mustang GT in supercars? Where's the Nissan Altima that's still running? It won't be next year, but it's still running in V8 supercars or the Supercars Championship as it's called, as of this upcoming race. So it's just, yeah, that and TCR cars, they could add so many more newer touring cars. They could add the Cooper Leon, even though that is got the same engine and underpinnings as the Golf and the Audi RS3. But like, you know, they could it just feels like this game was a missed opportunity in so many ways. Like, oh, this could have been a dream. This could have been a dream game for me. But nothing's perfect. Nothing's ever really perfect in life. I mean, the closest we have to perfection is Gran Turismo Sport. Oh wait, that's missing a lot of cars too. Forza, no, not Forza Motorsport 7. That's also missing. That's also got some very questionable missing vehicles. There you go. Perfect game is Real Racing 3. You heard it here first. I'm not saying that with an ounce of seriousness, but Real Racing 3 does have a lot of up-to-date modern racing cars. It doesn't have TCR, to be fair, but it has Formula E, including the Gen 2 Formula E cars, with, I think, almost all the liveries. I'm not sure, but I know that Formula E Ghost Racing game that, like, was responsible for one of the biggest videos in, like, the last 2 years on my channel has all of them, and will probably very likely have the 2020 liveries as well, which, let's be real here, when Porsche gets that Formula E car out, and, you know, that's gonna be so cool. Also, too, there seems to be, like, a weird bug with the audio where, like, the commentators in the background, like, over megaphones are, like, slowed down. I'm not sure if that's just a game thing, or if it's actually a bug. And while we're talking about bugs, this game was quite buggy. It still kind of is in a weird way, but given the AI's inconsistencies and stuff like that, it's just like, you know, they were over ambitious and it kind of fell flat on them. But there was, for a while there, when I played this, every single time I went to the leaderboards and went to the friends thing, went to, you know, checked global leaderboards and friend leaderboards, the game would crash. That's one of the strangest ways I've ever had a game just easily have an easily repeatable crash sequence. So, and it wasn't fun like the Fortnite one either. So that's really strange. Yeah, that's just really all I got to say. There's still a minute left though, so I'm going to keep talking. But this game is really a mixed bag and a missed opportunity in so many ways. Let me just think about the tracks that could be there. Bathurst, that was in Grid Autosport. The couple of other... Suzuka, even though I don't think that was in previous Grid games. But Suzuka would be so cool. Suzuka is already one of my favourite circuits as is, so... Fuck it, add Suzuka. Twin Ring Motegi. I'm just thinking of Japanese tracks. I've just been thinking of Japanese tracks because there's not... I mean, since Gran Turismo 4, we haven't had a staple lineup of Japanese real-world circuits. Sure, Fuji Speedway and Suzuka and Tsukuba are all in GT Sport, but... I mean, Twin Ring Motegi. Wait, that's such a tongue twister for me. It might not be for others, but it is for me. Also, add, like, mid-90s BTCC cars, you know those ones. God, that was so cool. I remember that PS1 game made by Codemasters of all people, actually. That was such a cool game. That was such a childhood game. I wasn't into BTCC, but I knew those cars, and it was so cool. Plus, oh, actually, while we're at it, British circuits, Donington, Snetterton, Alton Park. Just, yeah. This has just turned into a wishlist video, but we're out of time. That's the end of this video. If you've gotten to this point in the video, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, whatever. See you in the next video.